So what's your cost to create content? Content creation is words, audio, video for our intent, our purposes in this series of videos. It can also be graphics, but we're really talking about the videos and the words more than anything else. So how much does it cost to create content? Well, it costs nothing to put pen to paper, except the price of the pen, the price of the paper, right? It costs nothing for me to type on my keyboard to write something. I mean, it costs the computer, but let's say the pen and paper and the computer have been paid for. Those aren't the cost. The cost is the time. Time is the ultimate cost for almost everything that we do. How many patients we see, how many phone calls we make, how long it takes to get somewhere, how long it takes to create content. Time. It's all about the time involved to create this stuff. So how much is your time worth is a question to ask when it comes to creating content. You may have someone in the office that can write content, so therefore your time is not being used, maybe to come up with the ideas, maybe to come up with a few answers to a few questions they might have about something. But you guys in that office are the subject matter expert. And in any office that anybody works in, they're the subject matter expert. So the content is easy in theory to come up with. Now, a lot of people stare at the blank page and don't know what to write, and then you write, and then you re-edit, and then it takes you a long time, and it can take you an hour or 3 or 4 hours to write a 500, 700 word blog post because you're not a writer, you're not trained to be a writer. Now that content is free. Fine. This video right now that I'm doing is free. I'm using the camera and the computer. I'm not using a big fancy camera. I don't have lights. There's a window right here. I've got a little microphone that I have that's like a little $20 microphone that I use just so I don't get the ambient sound from the room so much. It kind of condenses a little bit. But that's the extent of it. I mean, it cost me nothing really to record this video, but time. The time to record the video and to kind of get set up a little bit. Do I find the right light in the room I'm in? Yeah. The window's right here. So it's a big window. It's floor to ceiling window. It's beautiful. But that's the natural light. I'm not trying to do anything special here. I'm providing information for you so that you can understand how to improve your practice. But I am not getting carried away with the whole video thing of it. And you don't have to either. That's my point. So the price of creating the content isn't much. Now, the price is I spent 40,000 hours on the set in Hollywood learning how to find the light. And I do have a good camera. I do have a good computer, so I've got a good camera on the computer. And I do plug a microphone in to improve it a little bit. But this is knowledge that you have, just like you have tons of knowledge about what you do. So even this is not a true cost. It's a knowledge, but it's not a cost. But if you want to up your game and you want to do something different, if you want to pay a writer, let's say, someone to write your blog post at $150 or so, that person is going to give you the keyword research. They're going to give you the article written in a way that follows the lead of what people really want to know. What's up front, how you follow the story down, how you keep the viewer interested all the way to the end to give them to what you want, and the calls of action, and the headlines, and the subheads, and all that stuff is all part of the writer's job. And let's just go back to the keywords just for a second. So the keywords matter a lot. So let's see if I can get this right. I was thinking about this before I started the video. So if your title to a blog post was, how do I find divorce mediators, or how do I know who's a good how do I find divorce mediators in blank town, right? In your town. Because most people are going to be searching for something in the area. Or, do I need a divorce mediator? Could be the same person looking for the same information, but how they word it is different. So one of those two, with the S, mediators, versus mediator without the S, one of those two gets 13,000 more searches per month in a small town. I know this because we did this actually. The one with the S on the end gets more traffic than the one without the S, because words with S's like guinea pigs, dogs, are the tire kickers. They're people looking for information, looking to find something. The one that doesn't have the S means they already know what they want. They're just looking for a specific what they want. So you want to be using the right keywords to bring people into the bigger picture of you, and for Google to pick you up and find you, because Google knows people are searching for that word more. So the words with the S are going to get up higher in the post than the search, than the words that don't have an S. So you have to know these things. So when you pay for a copywriter, that is exactly what you're going to get. As somebody that does the keyword, ask them first. You're going to get someone who does the research to know what the right title should be. And that's a very important thing to pay for. So when you're doing this, you really want to think about the bigger picture of all of it, and not just how can I get by as cheaply as possible to get this content out there? Because you can do that, but the cost of it is the cost of quality, the cost of time. It's always that balance. In the film business, there's a saying: there's good, fast, and cheap. Pick two. You can't have all three, but you can get good and fast. You can get good and cheap. You can get fast and cheap, but you can't get good, fast, and cheap. It just doesn't happen in any business. I mean, it's kind of a universal statement, but in the film business, it really happens. Because can we get this tomorrow? But I want it to look like $1 million. No. You can get 3 days from now, it's going to look like $1 million. You can pay more money to get tomorrow for $1 million, but I got to hire 6 bunch of people and I got to work overnight to get it done. Everything's the same. So when you pay for the content, you're going to get better content. When you create content on a budget, I'm not saying budgets are bad. I'm just saying you're going to get what you pay for, and it's going to happen incrementally. So be sure to look for quality content. Pay for the content when you need it. Pay for the staff to do it when you can. Create it yourself. Outsource it when you need to. These are all the little things that go into a bigger content creation strategy, a marketing strategy, what's the term? A content strategy is what they do it. Where you do it by the month. Content calendar. That's the big words I'm looking for. A content calendar. So that if you have the content calendar, you know what kind of content can be created in-house, what kind of content to outsource, and where your time is best spent to get the most bang for your buck, the most ROI for the content, because those are the important things to consider. So get that content going.